Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Welcome back to this Thursday afternoon. We've got the Wheels America Cup Series Championship race presented by the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. And everybody at home, Wheels America Racing Network, thanks for tuning in as we have our final race of Season 4, and we will crown our champion. I've got myself, Jacob Emery, in the booth, alongside Brandon Bowie, and we've got a third this evening, AJ. He is in the house as well. As these guys are on the track right now in practice, we will soon go into qualifying. AJ, Brandon, how are you guys feeling? What is going on? Are you guys excited for this championship race?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited, not just because we're here at Auto Club Speedway and we have 8 drivers looking to battle for something, but I'm sponsoring the race, so I'm really invested into it.
Absolutely. Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. Go check them out. One thing we didn't mention, hey, Auto Club Speedway. This track is fantastic. Now, it's one of the longer speedways in NASCAR that we've got. It's a 2-mile track. A lot of drafting. Tires will be key. Look out for the different inside lanes, outside lanes. It can be challenging, but guess what? Anything can happen at Auto Club. And every time we've been at this track, it has been so exciting. And for it to be this final track, this final race for the championship, I cannot wait. Brandon, what do you think these drivers tonight are feeling? Do you want to stay out front? Do you want to start in the back? Because either way, I feel like you can win doing that.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this is one of these races. This is a track car combination where you want to stay out front. You want to stay away from all the carnage, all the crazy side drafting that we're going to be seeing tonight. You just want to stay out front, lead as many laps as you can. And at this point, you just have to be if you're in the final 4, you just have to be in the highest or the highest position out of the other 3 drivers that you're battling with. So, the great thing about this is that there's 2 different championships going on right now. We have the main championship with Drew Drua, Nick Lights, Brandon Six, and Mark Whitley. And then you also have the Contender Championship, which includes Nick Biddy, Hisson, Corvo, and David. So 2 different championships going on. So it's going to be a little mixture of a little bit of everything. But man, I am excited, and I'm ready to see how this goes.
Me too, me too. And like every race before, it has been fantastic racing. No cautions. A lot of battles, a lot of competitiveness. And right now we've got Drua, Light, Six, and Whitley in that championship spot to get crowned tonight the champion for season 4. Really good drivers, but like you said, we've got that contender, Hassan, Biddy, David. Those guys are right there as well for a challenge to get the separate win. We've got 3 stages, stage 1 at 25, stage 2 at 55, and we're going to finish at 100 laps. I know this racing will be outrageous. AJ, how are you feeling? What do you think's going to play out on this track?
Well, with everything we saw on Tuesday, I'm thinking we're going to go from 2 wide to 3 wide to possibly 4 wide. It's going to be like Pocono, where we're going to hit that green flag, everybody's going to fan out, and it's going to be balls to the wall craziness going into turn 1, and going to see if everybody's got grip.
That will be key. Absolutely. Auto Club Speedway, you need grip, you need tires. They get 4 sets of tires tonight, 50% fuel. This is a day into night race, so right now it's evening time. The track will cool down as time goes on, as we're looking at the number 8 just finishing up practice, and we will be jumping into qualifying here shortly. Brandon, do you think spacing, do you think in the back of the track starting out, is that where you want to be, or do you want to be out front? Because I know there's so many different keys and so many different aspects of racing on this track that you can do. It's very interesting at Auto Club.
Right. Honestly, I ran some laps with some of the drivers out there, and ran some competitive hard racing as well, just to kind of get a better idea of what you need to be doing. And I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, if you could start out front, great. Try to lead every lap possible. But if you do start in the middle or you start in the back, it's not the worst thing in the world. You just have to take care of your tires. This car does, as of right now, the temperature right now on the track is a whopping 80 degrees on track temp. So when we were practicing, I think it was a little bit warmer, but overall I think the setup is going to get a little bit loose. So you might see, for the first part, you might see the guys maybe running toward the middle to the high line to try and continue to carry that momentum. But I think really you could probably really start anywhere. I mean, preferably, like I said, at the front, but if you were to have a bad qualifying or anything like that, you can still work your way to the front.
Yeah, it looks like we have 102 track temp possibly right now. It is evening time at the Auto Club. We're looking at Mark Whitley for his first lap in qualifying in that 7 car. He's putting up a time right now, 40.92. Such an interesting track because it's so long, 2 miles, very long track for a speedway right now at Auto Club. It's very unique. Whitley is in now second, Jua in that 40.70, Biddy in that 32, running a 41.12. A couple things going on tonight. We're making some changes for next season. Steve will come in and kind of talk about that here shortly. That's why AJ is in the booth. Unfortunately, AJ won't be with us next season, so this is kind of his send-off and goodbye. We appreciate everything he's done for us. He's done a lot of behind the scenes every race with these camera angles, kind of producing the race every week in and out. But man, it's good to have you in the booth, AJ, for this last championship race, one of the most important races of the year.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what goes on. I am excited for you guys going into season 5. Can't wait to hear Steve kind of let everybody in on the state secrets when it comes to that. But, you know, I remember a really good Denzel Washington movie called John Q. And I think one of his sayings was, it's never goodbye, it's always see you later. And I'll still be around, you know. Never count me never to come back, because, you know, you guys have always treated me well here. And it's always a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and we appreciate AJ. You're always welcome. But Steve is here now. I'm going to bring him in. He's going to talk about season 5 as qualifying is underway. Steve, you got a copy in here?
Yes, sir. How we doing,
All
boys?
right. Good, man. Good. Take it away. Talk about season 5, how it's going to play out next season as we're finishing up here season 4.
I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, first of all, right now we're wrapping up a killer season 4. It's awesome that we've even gotten this far. To be honest, it's just big thanks to all the drivers who have participated in these seasons and in the ASRA from season 1 all the way to now. It's been really incredible. So, I mean, we're going to wrap this puppy up and see how this thing goes, man. It's going to be wild tonight. But season 5 is going to be awesome. Starting August 1st. Going to be moving to Tuesdays. We alluded to that in the broadcast. Frankie and I on Tuesday for the Truck Series Championship, but the Cup Series will be moving to Tuesdays in that time slot. It works out better for kind of everybody, and it's going to be a better recognition for, I think, the league itself and just getting those good drivers. I think that for us, that's going to be the kind of key. You know, it's we've had great drivers with us up until this point, but we're kind of making some changes. For all the RPG fans out there, I like to compare it to you know, like you play the main journey, the main story, and then after that you get to play the game all over again, new game plus, with much harder difficulty. So in a way, that's kind of what we're doing. We have 4 seasons of experience with the Cup Series plus the 2 for trucks, and we're going to take all that knowledge and we're going to move it and build just an incredible season 5 that is that rivals top series. I mean, you know what I mean? Like everybody considers the Coke Series as the top echelon. We're trying to get to that point, you know, as far as respect level and competition level. So we're not going to hold back from that. So yeah, I mean, iRating cap is gonna, or iRating minimum, excuse me, is 2,000. Looking for really good drivers. But yeah, June 1st is when everything kind of kicks off. Is when recruitment is going to start. We're going to do all kinds of cool stuff like that. So watch out for the social medias. Watch out for Facebook. The actual Discord itself. So just check it all out. We'll definitely be getting a lot of changes. And then, I mean, even here, guys, I mean, this channel is going to be rebranded as well. I'm not sure if we talked about that yet, but
No, you want to bring it up now?
Yeah, a lot of good things coming. If anything, is it like as we're looking there? So that is going to be the new logo, Race Day Live, as you're seeing it on the screen. That's going to be for season 5.
New names,
Yes, sir.
same speed.
yeah. So really, I mean, we're again, right? We're taking the knowledge we've learned these last couple of seasons by, you know, this broadcasting team in this channel has really been an in-house channel, you know, for the ASRA. And now we're kind of rebranding, making it fresh, making it, you know, something more exciting. Obviously, kind of being a lot more modern and again, rivaling, you know, bigger competition. We're just trying to be the best at the end of the day within the league, within this channel. And we're going to get there with these changes. And I'm pretty excited about it because now we can not only, you know, handle the ASRA league, like right here, we can now expand to other leagues as well if we want to. So if other leagues want to bring us in and like what we have and want to broadcast their Cup Series or, you know, trucks or GT3s, whatever it is, we're down for it. So we're open to it at least, and we're gonna start having those conversations here pretty soon. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to season 5. Like I said, just watch the social medias. A lot of things will be coming up, and gonna be a good time.
Well, there you have it. Season 5 is already under construction in the works, but we got to finish season 4 here. Mark Whitley in the number 7. He is still on the pole at a 40.34. Right behind him, 48, Drew Drua. He's in second place at a 40.408. Just to touch base with that season 5, if anything ends like it has in season 4, I cannot wait because it has been fantastic driving. It's been so action-packed in the last 4 to 5 races. Man, this is what we're looking for. I think this is what Steve, myself, everybody involved with this league is looking for. So, man, can't wait. It will be in a few months, but we'll get back to it and be green again. AJ, Brandon, what are your thoughts on this race tonight? AJ, are you excited? We got a day to night race.
Yeah, we're going to go from hot track temperatures to slightly cooler track temperatures. We're at a racetrack that chews up these Goodyear Eagles, and we have 8 drivers fighting for something, and 1 driver that has already accomplished something on Tuesday looking to add to his trophy list, and we're looking at him right on screen. It's Nick Lights, currently in that 4th position during qualifying. Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, I'm kind of in a weird situation, right? I literally have two drivers who are going for the championship. You know, we have the 48 of Jua and the 66 of Brandon Six that run for Bowie Esports. So my position is a little bit different compared to everybody else. But you know what? Like I said, at the end of the day, I am excited. I am kind of pumped up. You know, whoever wins, I'm just excited to see some good racing, and you know, whatever happens, happens, and I'm just happy to be able to be in the booth and watch it from this point of view.
Absolutely. So if you get quiet or if you get loud or get crazy, it's either a good thing or a bad thing. But we'll see how that plays out. Good luck to your drivers. Nothing's changed up front there, man. Look at that. All of the 4 contenders that are trying to get crowned champion tonight go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can you reel on that? Number 11. He's in 5th with a 40.54. This may be his track. Good to see him up there in the mix-up. Barroso, Fetter Place, Carivo, and Lanfear Hassan. That's your top 10. Some of these other guys running in some slower times, but don't count them out. They may want to stay back here at Auto Club. AJ, they're going to start gridding up here shortly, man. This is what we've been waiting all season long. This is the final race. This is the race to crown the champion of this season 4 of the Wheels America Cup Series Championship. The Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast is actually sponsoring this race tonight.
Yeah, well, let's talk to our pole sitter, Mark Whitley. Jacob, take it away.
Mark Whitley, do you got a copy?
Gotcha.
Hey, buddy, you're in contention here to get that champion. You've been very strong, consistent throughout all of these races in the championship playoffs. How you feeling here at Auto Club?
Well, I'd be feeling better if we were at a better track, but I mean, this is where we're at, so we gotta just roll with the punches and hope for the best.
Absolutely. Well, good luck tonight, man. We'll be watching here in the booth. AJ, you got anything from Mark real quick?
Now, Mark, you put down a fast lap to qualify on the pole. You know, you just mentioned that it's not your best racetrack, but you're already kicking it off in a good spot, but you got your championship drivers right around you. What's the strategy racing them tonight?
I just make it to the end of the race and hope lap cars don't become a factor, and hope you get a good run and either can be out front aero blocking everybody, or I mean, the track's more fun with different cars, but this car, it's really easy to like aero block, and if you do that in long enough, it'll burn the person's tire off behind you. So it's just going to be, honestly, just kind of a crapshoot. It's going to be just whoever gets lucky, I guess, with at the end of the race, and whoever can be out front and hold them off.
All right, brother. Well, good luck tonight. You got 100 laps here at Auto Club Speedway. Hopefully to talk to you later.
Sounds good.
All right. Jacob, why don't we take us, all our listeners, through the field, through the starting lineup, and why don't you take the first 10?
Absolutely. So, number 1, that pole spot, Mark Whitley in that 7. He's going to start on the inside. That number 48, Drew Jua, he's in 2nd. Going to be on the outside. Number 66, Brandon Six, he's in 3rd. Number 4, Nick Lights, he's going to start in the 4th position. Number 11, Kenny Real up there in 5th. Number 12, Frankie Barroso, he's going to start in 6th position. Number 34, Brandon Fetterplace, he'll be in 7th. Mike Carivo, he's in 77. And 13, Mike Lanfear, he'll be in 9th, followed by...
Yeah, Thomas Meeks in the 11th. Nick Biddy going to start in 12th. Michael Lanfear is going to start 13th. Matt Smith, 14th, 15th. It'll be Anthony Williams, Joseph David in 15th, and 16th. It's going to be Matthew Fleming. Jacob,
well, there you have it, AJ. That is going to be your lineup as they start here at Auto Club. The race is about to go green. I cannot wait. We've got 100 laps at this racetrack. We've got 3 stages. Stage 1 ends at 25. Stage 2 ends at 55, and we will finish at that 100 mark. We want to thank everyone at home watching on Wheels America Racing Network, all of our sponsors, Units Moving Portable Storage, Wheels America, Admin Box, Flim Dogs, the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast, and Harpoon Designs. the time has come. As this pace car comes off the track here shortly, we will go green at Auto Club Speedway, and I cannot wait. Brandon, what do you think these drivers are feeling as they're on this track? I bet you the nerves are kind of starting.
Well, if they're in the final four, whether it's for the contender or for the main championship, it's nervous. The pace car is off. I'll let you guys go and handle it from here.
Absolutely, that pace car is off, and we've got a green flag here at Auto Club as Mark Whitley on the inside will take us into turn 1 as the championship race begins.
Had a hell of a push from the 66 right behind him. That's going to pole vault him into the lead and clear of Drew Jua.
2 and 3 single file as they fan out just a little bit in the back, side by side. Such an interesting track as they try to find the groove. So many ways to do it as Mark Whitley and Drew Jua battle out front. Whitley now ahead, under 1 lap down. He's out front. Drew right behind, going to chase him down light. 6th, Barossa Real, Fetter Place. Just 7th position, single file up front still.
Your top 4 drivers.
Real quick, AJ, you see some guys up top running that top line already. Is that where you want to be, Brandon? Or where are you feeling that you think the best route would be early on in this stage of the race?
Thinking you probably want to stay up high for a little bit, kind of let the tires kind of go and not put too much strain. But I will say that it depends on how hard you're running on the high side. If you're running on the bottom, you can actually, lift a little bit more. So it just depends on what your settings are, out of the box. I know for me, I like to run the bottom, let the tires kind of come up to temp, and then I would kind of go to the high side. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys.
Robert is song loose coming out of 2.
Oh well, heck of a save because he didn't wreck, which is a good thing. Hopefully not on lap 3, but these guys are definitely, like I said, trying to let the tire pressures come up and everything. But AJ, I know that these guys are still probably a little nervous. If what are you seeing that might make you a little nervous, from the booth instead of behind the wheel?
Well, for me, it's more of these contender drivers that their aggression to get by a lot of these cars and get away from the other contender drivers. I mentioned Robert Hissong getting loose. He was taking an aggressive line coming out of turn 2 and almost lost the back end of that car. He caught it, but he lost 2-3 positions right off of that. I know it's early on, but it's stuff to keep in the back of your mind.
Absolutely. As we were looking on board there, that 8, Hissong dropped some spots in the back. He's sitting 12th, but only 5 laps were very early in this race. We go to 25 laps. These guys know what they're doing out here. They've made it all the way to the end of this season for this championship. Some guys are battling for the crown. Some are battling for the contender. But either way, we've got fantastic drivers as we even look at number 88, Fleming. He's in 6th now.
Up 11 positions, using that outside
Absolutely.
since the beginning.
Absolutely big mover. Matt Fleming, he started 17th, is now looking at 6th position in that 88 car. Early moves for him.
Let's not also forget, the guys who are not even in the championship run for either one. They're just they just want to be the spoiler. They just want to go out there and win and show like, hey, if I was in the playoffs, I could have actually won this thing. So let's not count those guys out either. You never know. They could do something on strategy, or they can just outright go out there and outpace, the guys who are running in the playoffs, because the guys in the playoffs are worried about their small group, where the guys who are not, they don't have anything to worry about.
Absolutely, man. You got like Kenny Real in at number 11. He qualified 5th, was right there in the mix. He's fallen back a little bit, but guys like him, definitely Frankie, he can come out here and get that win. Fetter placing at 34, Smith, Williams, all of these drivers, anyone can come out here and spoil like you were saying. But with 7 laps down, all those 4 contenders are still up front. Mark Whitley, Drew Jua, Nick Lights, and Brandon 6. Right next to each each other. Brandon Six about only 1 second, a little under 1 second behind the leader of Mark Whitley.
Yeah, they're all 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have the first contender driver, Mike Corvu, in 7th. You have Biddy in 10th, Hasong in 12th, and in 14th you have Joseph DeVete. And it's simple, everybody. Finish ahead of your opponents, and you win the championship. It's that simple.
It's that simple, said in the booth, but I will tell you, these drivers on the track, they've been battling each other all year long. They've probably figured it out. They probably know how these drivers are driving the car. They kind of have the trends. They know exactly what they may do. But man, it takes a lot of work. It's going to be a huge testament for any of these drivers, especially the guys up front, to get this championship. But Brandon, right now you're seeing a lot of single file. Everyone's been pretty patient. Not a whole lot of side-by-side driving, but can you tell a little bit? Is there going to be any type of that driving? I can't think of the word. I'm losing my train of thought. I apologize. Drafting. Thank you. There it comes. Auto Club Speedway. Is drafting going to be a big factor for this race this season?
Oh, absolutely. Maybe not as much right now. These guys are. Look, and there are some side-by-sides, and they're trying to figure out, where they feel like do they feel like they're faster than the guy close to them or whatever. So they're trying to figure that out. But as the run goes on, you see it here. The top 4 or 5, have pulled away, and that's basically just because they work together. And then you see a small little batch, and then you see the last little batch in the back. So if they were to work together, they would catch the top 4. So that's really all draft. All that really is. Side-by-side racing is going to slow you down in whatever pack that you're in. But if you're all single file, you can definitely start to kind of pick up. So it's not exactly a super speedway race, or in a sense, it's not that type of drafting. But there is draft, especially in the straight here at Auto Club.
Yeah, and the corners are baked. There's those grooves. You can kind of see the grooves on the track as you're watching here live on the race. One thing I wanted to bring out, Mark Whitley pointed it out. Watch out for lap cars. That may be a huge factor later in this race as they're trying to battle to get that win. Lap cars in your way can cause a lot of problems. AJ, what are your thoughts on some lap cars possibly causing some problems here at Auto Club?
Well, with the driving going on early on in this stage 1, I don't know if we're going to get to lapped cars by the time we finish stage 1 and by then finish stage 2. If that comes into effect, I'm expecting that in the 3rd stage. And if they're a championship driver, I kind of expect them to give them the room. But if they've had any trouble in the past, I might expect some hard driving and maybe a little Ryan Newman racing.
We may see that. We saw Drew. He hit the wall pretty big. I mean, he hit it hard. We saw that live on the screen. That could cause some damage. Something that the 48 does not want to do early on in this race when we got 12 laps down. You don't want damage on that car early on, especially at this track. It's a 2-mile track. You need all the help you can get, and a damaged car is not going to do it for you. I think he's okay. We will see here, 13 laps down. The stage ends at 25. Man, I cannot wait to see how this unfolds. We got a day to night race. So right now it is evening time. As you can see, the sun is coming down. Got a good shot of the outside there, the palm trees. Kind of see the mountains. But later on, it will be nighttime, and that will make some changes to the track. Mark Whitley in that 7 still out front strong, but Nick Lights now in 2nd place. He is right behind him as he's trying to get a pass on the inside. Does he do it here? He does. Nick Lights in front now past Mark Whitley as Drew is right behind that 48. Looks like his car's looking okay now.
So, Brandon, I want to talk to you on this because you're the driver. You can think pretty much almost exactly what they have in their helmets right now. You know, Nick Lights won the championship on Tuesday. How much pressure is on him to win tonight as well and back up that I'm not just good in the Truck Series, I'm good in these Cup cars as well?
I mean, it's got to be huge for him to try and keep his head on a level playing field. You know, you go out there and you win the Truck Championship, and you're like, okay, all I got to do is back it up, and I can have the Cup Championship as well. But honestly, that's not an easy feat, you know. And I'm not saying that the drivers in the Truck Series are, you know, not as competitive or not as good as the drivers we have now. I mean, the truck drivers are good as well. But this is a completely different car. This is a completely different animal. This is a completely different way of driving. You know, and the competitor, his main competitor that raced with him on Tuesday is Nick Lights. Or I'm sorry, it's Mark Whitley. So Nick, you know, has to kind of understand, like, okay, well, Mark Whitley got the same amount of experience as I did as far as like seat time, and Drew Jewett and Brandon Six didn't. So maybe I have a little bit of leeway on being able to get in front of them. But as you can see, they're there as well. So they're competing with them, and they are all running about the same lap times, which is pretty crazy as well. So if I'm Nick Lights, I probably have a lot of pressure, you know, to try and back it up and get it, the Truck Championship and the Cup Championship. But you kind of got to shrug that off. You can't really be focused on that. That was on Tuesday. This is Thursday. You got to just focus on what you got going on in front of you and try to cap it off and win it all.
Man, Nick Lights, getting the truck win right on Tuesdays. Congratulations to him. He's such a solid driver, as you're seeing it now in the Cup car. You're saying it's a different beast, but he's doing very well. He's handling very easy early on right now with Drew Jewett right behind him in the 48. But one thing I want to say, I am looking at the Wheels America Racing network. It is live tonight. Everyone is chatting. We've got lots of viewership. Man, Go 77. I appreciate all these men and women in there, whoever it may be. Thank you for tuning in every week, either be a Tuesday or a Thursday. You guys are great. We watch what you say, so appreciate you. Man, last race of the season, we're going to crown a champion, but we also got battles in the middle of the pack. Matt Fleming is now up to 5th. He's in that 88 car. Nick Biddy, he's in sixth position. He started 12th. And then Mike in that 77, he is in 7th. He started 8th, so he's kind of right there, being consistent. Love to see it here at Auto Club.
Yeah, and there's battles all across the racetrack now. We mentioned our top 4, but you got to go back to Thomas Meeks, Nick Biddy, Kenny Reel. They are 2x2, and they're slowing themselves down. They need to get in line, or they're not going to have any shot at even catching Matthew Fleming just for 5th place.
Yeah, if we could just stay tuned on this battle right here, because look at that. We've got 4 cars, maybe 5 cars. Meeks is up front there, kind of pulling away, but he's in the mix. We've got some action early on. We only have 5 laps left to this first stage, and it will end. But, man, a lot of action, good driving so far. No cautions. Everyone's being pretty patient, but you love these battles in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, as you see Frankie Barroso in the 12 looking to the inside of Nick Biddy. You know, he's going to shoot it long into the turn and hope it sticks, but it looks like as these tires are getting really worn, that outside is going to be the way to go. And look at the launch the 32 gets coming out of 4.
Good run by him. I love this track. Auto Club is one of my favorites. There's so many different ways to run it. You can run the outside, you can run the inside, and as time goes by, it seems like the car changes, so you can change how you're going to do it. But they're putting a show on right now. 21 laps down as they go single file, get real close to that wall. Nick's still out front. Frankie's right behind him, real close. Frankie now going to try to push on the outside as Meeks is in the inside.
I didn't think Meeks was clear. Holy cow.
And Frankie gets a little bit loose, but holds on to it. He's pushing the car.
Mark
Harder
Whitley
than
on
I've seen
pit
in
road.
stage in the first stage. Now we got, is that the
Mark-
number 7?
That's the 7. He's on pit road.
Mark Whitley pitting. I'm not sure why. This is 22 laps into first stage. We end at that 25 mark. I don't know if we can go back and take a look at what's going on. That seems out of character. Brandon, what do you think? What do you think happened to Whitley there?
I think maybe he's listening to some strategy that I call a lounge, which was there's no points on the line. These guys are just going for it. So why not come in before pit road closes, go ahead and take your tires and get to the front. Now, being that this track is very aggressive on tires, I don't know if that's going to work. I mean, if it does, I mean, you're out front and you can kind of pull away and just hold everybody off, kind of like what he said when we talked to him when he got the pole. But I don't know. I mean, it's early enough to go ahead and try it now and see what happens. So it's probably just, hey, why not?
I'm not a fan of that move at all because those 3 or 4 laps on those tires are going to be very crucial on the racetrack. And of course, he's going to stay out, gain first place again. But then he's going to have 4 or 5 laps on a track that burns Goodyear Eagles. I don't see the advantage there.
Yeah,
Well-
unfortunately, I don't think there is an advantage. Like I said, it's an interesting strategy. It's not something that I would do, especially here at Auto Club, but especially if we were to get to a point to, maybe a fuel situation. But, he's got some people in his ear. He's got people working with him. So obviously they got a strategy they want to work
He's
on.
got Brantley in his ear, and he just put up in the chat saying, "We didn't take tires, fellas."
Okay, so we didn't get tires, we got fuel, and just like that, the end of stage 1 at 25. We don't see that type of strategy until stage 2, but Auto Club early on here at the Wheels America Cup Series Championship race has provided as Nick Lights in that 04 wins stage 1, Drew Jewett in that 48 second, and Brandon 6 in the 66. He finishes 3rd. Boy, oh boy, guys, it's already begun. I cannot wait for next stage. That will end at 55 as we all regroup, go to the pits, get tires, maybe not, get some fuel, get back out there racing. AJ, Brandon, what a show.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far up front with these top 4 drivers, and then out of nowhere you see Mark Whitley come down pit road and just take fuel. And I'm guessing per Brantley in our Facebook chat saying they're gonna come down, take tires, and a splash. I think they're hoping that that's gonna make that pit stop a little bit faster. So we're gonna have to wait and see. After pit stops, we're gonna talk to the number 4 of Nick Lights winning stage 1.
Yeah,
But
they're going to go
Brandon-
in there and get some changes going on. Brandon, we're hearing all these strategies going on early. I guess we don't want to tell everybody on the racetrack, but man, Whitley says, I'm making a move early and going to try to confuse you guys. He's sitting now in 15th, 16th position. See if he can make some changes, make some moves after the pit stop. I don't know what's going on, Brandon.
Yeah, I was trying to go back. I was trying to go back to see how long these guys can actually go on fuel. Yeah, it's pretty close. So it's a possibility that, and I could be wrong, I guess if Brantley will let us know. But it's a possibility that maybe he was a little short on fuel and had no choice but to pit.
Fetter
Okay,
Place goes through his box.
Yeah, look like Fetter Place. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But I mean, look, he's still got a long way to go. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the one thing I'm thinking of. Maybe they were a little short on the fuel, so they came down and had to do a splash and go basically just to get to the end of the stage. Honestly, I mean, looking at it, that puts Whitley way back outside the top 10 more than likely. So I think that's more than likely what the issue was. We saw Brandon Six saving fuel. We saw Drew Jewett saving a little fuel. And I'm not sure on Nick Lights, but obviously he was saving fuel because he won the stage. So
Why don't we ask him? We're gonna pull him in here right now and talk to him. Jacob, take it away.
Hey, Nick, you got the stage 1 win. How are you feeling out there at the Auto Club now?
Pretty good, man. That was a good first stint we had there. See how far we can go on fuel. I started saving early and had about a lap left to coast around for that extra pace car lap. So looking forward to stage 2, and hopefully we can close it in for that final stage and get the victory.
Absolutely. Strategy has already been in the works, so it's going to be interesting seeing how it plays out. AJ, you got something for Mr. Lights?
Yeah, right before you guys go green, because it looks like you're getting gridded up and ready to go. We saw you guys bunny hopping up front. How intense, how stressful of racing is that, especially being around your competitors for the championship?
Yeah, I noticed we were all a good distance away from everybody else, and swapping the lead back and forth. It was pretty exciting to say the least. I know me and Whitley and who have raced pretty hard there, so yeah, I think it'll be a good show for everybody, and I don't know. We'll have to see how this stage goes as well. I think you'll see the same thing of us 4. I know Seven's back there, and he had to pit early, but you'll see probably us 4 back again, racing for the lead pretty hard.
All right, dude.
Absolutely.
Well, good luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll talk to you later on.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Well, there's your stage 1 winner, Nick Lights. Points do not really matter at this point in time because, hey, he needs a win. And if he does get a win, he'll be crowned the champion of Season 4. So he wants to stay out front and do that. As the number 48 of Drew Drua, he's in second. He wants to do the same. Brandon 6 in the 66. And then we got Mark Whitley now up to 5th. Biddy right there in the mix as well. He's contending out here as the pace car is off, and we are back green at Auto Club Speedway. Nick Lights in that 4 will take us into turn 1. He's on the inside. Drew Drua on the outside, right behind as they go single file, side by side in the back of the pack.
it looked like we got some confirmation from Brantley, and thanks Brantley for confirming that information. Yes, they were short on fuel, so had to come in. They were leading a lot of laps, and when you lead laps, you're gonna burn more fuel than the people behind you. They were a little short, but looked like they, didn't fall back too far. I think they were one spot worse than what they were. So they restarted in 5th. So still got a chance. Probably is going to do the same thing. Maybe learned a little bit from the last time, save a little bit of fuel or a little bit more fuel, and try to see if they can make it to the next stage.
Yeah, like we saw on Tuesday, Brandon, we saw drivers clutching it. They were turning off the truck. They were saving fuel that way. Is that something that we'll see with this Cup car late in this race?
Yeah, just no no other response other than yes. You're gonna see guys doing everything they can to save fuel, because if you gotta come down here for so much time, whether it's just taking fuel or taking tires as well. So it's it's that's the type of game shift that you gotta kind of figure out. It's the type of strategy you gotta figure out. Whether you're gonna try and save and make it to the end of the stage, or you're gonna try and just go for it and hope for a caution, and see where things shake out. So, and these guys in the back are racing really aggressive. David and Frankie just about got into each other, but looks like it's all good. Looks like they're still going straight.
Yeah, it's been a battle all night long. But as you're looking up front there, Biddy Hassong in the mix with the guys that are trying to go for the championship. These contender guys say, hey, I can battle as well, and they're doing it. 31 laps down. We've got to go to the 55 mark for stage 2. Back in the pack, though, we've got guys like David, Meeks, Corriveau, Williams, Fleming, and Barroso, number 12, Frankie. They're 3 seconds, 2 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, David really putting a hard charge on Barroso there in 1 and 2. Passes and is pulling away from Frankie Barroso. You know, a driver we expected in this Final Four didn't make it via the race last week at Phoenix, but struggling tonight at Auto Club, it looks like.
Yeah, a little bit of a struggle. I think he's just trying to figure it out. Frankie usually starts in the back and makes his way through the pack. I would imagine that he would go for everything tonight, but that's been the way he's been driving all season long. We'll see how it plays out for him. We're looking at 88 Matt Fleming right there on the inside.
And David just drives right by him, too. Holy cow, that 6 is hooked up right now.
Outside might be the line. Who knows here early on. 33 laps still as the number 27 try to make a pass. Or excuse me, I believe it's 77. Mike.
Robert Hassong now dealing with Drew Jua.
All right, Jay, you're seeing a little bit of different racing in stage 2. A lot of single file. We saw a lot of side-by-side and only maybe 1, 2, 3 were single file out front. But this is a different pace. This is a little bit longer stage 2. Maybe they're trying to save some tires, do a little bit of different strategy, but look how it's playing out now.
I also want to notate that we have Biddy leading right now, and he is part of the Contender Championship. So now we have a mixture of 2 different championships, all within the top 6. So, yeah, these guys have to really be mindful of who they're racing, and understand that, hey, understand you want to win a race, but can't really afford to make a mistake and take yourself out or take out a competitor going for a completely different championship. So that's going to be key to watch all night tonight.
Yeah, Robert Hassong in that 8 car looking very strong. He started 10 and now in the 4th position. He's a contender, but he's up there in that top 5 trying to get a win out here. Mark Whitley, Biddy, Light, Hua 6, better place, Real Smith and David. That's your top 10 as it sits. Mike in that 11th spot, right out of line, but trying to get into that top 10 mark. So we got Fleming, Rosso, Meeks, Williams, Lamphere. That is the majority of your field. Man, Michael's struggling today. Michael started 9th. Now he's sitting 16th. I don't know if Michael is not his track, or he's just being very patient and waiting. He's a great driver, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as the end of the stage 2 happens.
Well, if you thought they were saving for stage 1, they might be still saving in stage 2. But I also think Lamphere is one of the drivers that will let people burn up their stuff and then just scoot right by them when they can.
Yeah, good point there. That may be the case. Michael's in that in that 13. He's always been strong. He's always in the mix, man. Biddy though, 32. Nick Biddy still in the mix. He's only less than a second behind Mark Whitley, right on his tail, trying to get a pass on the outside. Very strong outing by him.
Nick Biddy's probably helping the field out right now, making Mark Whitley burn up his stuff.
Mark Whitley, very strong driver. One of those drivers that seems that he knows his tires. He doesn't burn them off very much. You don't see that happening. And also, one guy that you want to look out for, that's 6, Brandon 6. He's a good tire saver. He's a driver that seems like he's just burning them off, but stays out front all race long. So that's going to be another interesting aspect as this race goes on. See what happens.
And the only reason why I bring that up is because consistently these last 3, 4, maybe 5 laps, Whitley and Biddy are 2 to 3 tenths faster than the field. So that makes me assume that they're burning their stuff up faster than everybody else. So look for the degrade in those cars come later on.
Absolutely. This stage 2 ends at 55, and now you see some cars really start spacing out. You got 10 seconds. Lamphere now 10 seconds behind the leader of Mark Whitley in that 7. Williams, Meeks, they're all about 10 seconds behind the leaders. So lap cars may be coming to the factor late in this stage or the final. We got to go to 100 as the track temps are starting to come down. That nighttime is showing up as the sun goes down, so the track temps will change. Brandon, is that going to be a big factor as you can see the lights are turned on here at Auto Club Speedway?
You must have been reading my mind, cause I was I was ready to talk about that. Yes. The lights coming on. It's getting
Oh.
colder out there, and because of that, guess what? These guys are going just a little bit faster. And because they're going a little bit faster, guess what you're doing? You're burning a little bit more fuel. When that first stage, these guys had to run 25 laps, and if you include another lap to try and make it to the back around to make it back to the pit road. So this run is 26 laps, and then if you add one, once the caution comes out to kind of make it back around pit road, they have to run 27 laps now. So now they have to try and find an additional lap on top of what they tried to save lap time to try and make it, without running out of fuel. So these guys are just having everything thrown at them right now. Like I said, with the weather, the weather's changing, the track temp's changing, the lights are on, you're running laps faster than you did earlier in the first stage. So now, like I said, your whole mindset has to change, and you have to go to fuel conservation mode. And I think a lot of these guys are figuring that out fast.
Yeah, we already got the number 48 car. I think we're getting confirmation that he's shutting the car off. So he's running that clutch game, shutting the car off, saving some fuel. I think early on in stage 2, but man, we saw Mark Whitley come in early on stage 1 because he didn't have enough. It's gonna be fun to watch how these drivers react to the conditions of the track and figure out what they need to do. Fuel, tire, whatever it may be. Hey, Nick Biddy in that 32 has figured it out early on as he's in front of number 7, Mark Whitley. Nick Lyons in 6. Kenny Real in that number 11. He qualified so good. He qualified 5th. Now he's sitting back in 5th. I think this is his track. One guy that's not in contender, not in the championship run, but out there in the mix, giving everything he's got to try to get a win and stealing from these guys and say, hey, I'm coming back next season and figure out what he can do.
This is big. Everybody watching at home. A contender driver is currently leading the field, and especially the championship drivers. This is insane, and I could just imagine if this were the checkered flag, what kind of party that 32 would be having after this race.
Yeah, as we can get a look at Kenny and Drewa in that 48 Fetter place. They're battling back here. Look at this mix up here. Some cars driving on the inside. Levin now in the 4th as he's making a pass by Nick Lights. 48 of Drew Drewa. He's a championship contender. He's in 6th position.
It's to be honest with you guys, this is actually very difficult. This is not an easy game to play. Trying to figure out how much fuel you need to save, trying to figure out how much throttle you need to be using. As we see, Nick Lights is decided to back it off just a little bit more. So more than likely, he's not saving enough. So he's having to back it off some more, so that way he can save a little bit more fuel, probably a little bit more in the tire, so he can have something to go with at the end of this run. I mean, these guys, we're coming up close. I mean, we are going to, I believe, lap 55. So, and I'm trying to confirm that. Yes. So stage 2 is going to be the end at lap 55. So that gives them about 10 laps to go. At this point, you got to start working, working your way forward. But, you still can't be too greedy. Still got to be able to save a little bit, to have a little bit of life left.
Nick Biddy on pit road. Nick Biddy on pit road.
32, Biddy, he's already pitting.
And Nick Biddy on the pit road early on, late in the stage 2, but one of the first drivers to drop down there and get some fuel, as Real and 66, 48 are all out there, 34, Fetter Place are still on the track, making their run. What a good look there. Kenny Real, that number 11, got a new paint scheme. Got that 911 vibe there. Look at that. So you got the towers, you got the flag on the side. Really cool shot, really cool car. Paying tribute, paying some respects, and he's got some words on the back of that car too. It's going to be hard to get a good shot there, but awesome paint scheme. Yeah.
I just got goosebumps reading that.
47 laps down. We end at 55. This stage 2 is coming in coming to an end quick. We want to thank everyone at home at Wheels America Racing Network. We've got a good crew out there watching on this championship race, and all of our sponsors, Units Moving Portable Storage, Wheels America Admin Box, Slim Dogs, the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast, and Harpoon Designs. All season long, we want to thank you for the support. Right now, though, Season 4 is going to be ending here shortly as Stage 2 is coming to an end as well, as Fetter Place is battling right there.
Yeah,
Nick
and I'm
Lights in
seeing,
that 4.
yeah, I was gonna say Nick Lights is starting to fall back even further, so that tells me that he is not where he wants to be on fuel yet. So he's having to save even more. So he's trying to slow down, but he's gotta keep in mind, the further you fall back, and he doesn't have any cars around him necessarily right now, but if he were to have to slow down and have to let a couple more cars go, that's more cars he has to pass after the stage. So you got to be mindful of how many cars you're actually letting go. So you see the pack, another pack back here. Looks like leading is Frankie and Oberoso, and looks like they are definitely on fuel conservation mode.
They are all on fuel conservation mode. And Brandon, I gotta ask you this. At what point do you just say, screw it, run out as hard as you can, you're gonna have to pit anyway? Because at this point, aren't you just negating it anyway by falling this far back?
Yeah, I mean, if you are that far back at that point, and unfortunately, I was trying to see how far back they are. I can't really see, but
Frankie
looks like,
Barroso is 14 seconds back.
yeah, at that point, if you haven't saved enough, then you're better off just coming down and topping off of fuel and going back out. You're that far back. You're never gonna make up that time. I mean, everybody in front of Frankie would have to pit. That's the only way he's gonna be able to win this stage. Is everybody has to do that. But again, you can never count out Frankie. You can never count out Matt Fleming, because maybe they're trying some different strategies. Maybe they're trying to see how much they can really save. As we see the 7, he pitted. Unfortunately, he's way in the back, but he was short on fuel, so he had to come down pit road and top off in fuel. But hey, I mean, that's actually a good strategy if Frankie is trying to see how far he can actually go on fuel.
So here comes Kenny Real.
It looks like a couple guys are coming down pit road now. If he can, make it a couple more laps than everybody else, Frankie could be in the catbird seat to get the win tonight. But you never know what these guys are really thinking.
Right, and then I know these drivers are pitting, so the placement of these drivers are changing. But one driver I wanted to talk about before they started to go into the pits was Michael Lanfear in the 13. He was all the way back in 15th, and we only had one driver pitting. He made it all the way back to 9th position. So, like we were talking about, he might be one of the drivers just really saving, being patient at Auto Club, because he hasn't gone to the pits yet. He's staying out. All these other drivers, David Real, Biddy Whitley, they're all going in to get some fresh tires and come back out. Stage 2 ends at 55, so we are almost done here. As it sits right now, Drew in that 48, he's in front. Brandon 6 and Brandon Fetterplace, Lights and Sticks are the top 3. Fetterplace in the number 34, he's currently sitting 4th. But yeah.
I was sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we've got to change for the lead. Nick Lights has said forget it and went for the lead. Whether he can make it or not, I have no idea, but I think he's taking AJ's idea and saying screw it, and let's just see what happens.
We saw this a couple races ago, I believe, with Lights. I believe he did the same thing, maybe in the Truck Series, as he just stayed all the way out, saved, conserved, and did it. I think he got a win. AJ, what do you got?
I just feel like if you save, you might as well just go balls to the wall and then pit, because you end up with almost the exact same. Unless it's really close and it's like a lap or two, one thing. But if you're trying to save 3 or 4 laps, you're better off just running as hard as you can and then coming in for a splash.
Well,
and this is going to be interesting because I believe this is the white flag here. I could be wrong, but I think this will be the white flag for the green-white flag is what we're coming to. And these guys are racing pretty hard. Mark Whitley, wow. the 4 if Nick Lights gets really, really loose there coming out of 2 and 6. And the 66 is going to try and go for it.
He's there.
Help
He's
these guys
there.
around the field.
66.
Let me go
Trying to get inside. Frankie a little bit loose. I believe that is in the back. Kenny Real right there as well.
And Lights
And
is
that
going
will
to win.
be the end of stage 2. Nick Lights is going to be your winner.
Wow.
Brandon 6 and Drew in that 48. That's your top 3. Brandon Fetterplace, Michael Lanfear, and Matt Fleming in the 88. What a race here. Stage 2 always provides, and we are already on our last stage as we got to go to the 100 mark. Let's see what these drivers do as they go into the pits and make some changes. But before we do, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we will be right back.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
And we are back here at Auto Club Speedway. Welcome back to the Wheels America Cup Series Championship race presented by the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. We are on our final stretch as we end to the 100 lap mark. It's been a show early on of this race. Stage 1 was fantastic. Stage 2 was great. And we're going to bring a driver in here.
He's right here.
Kind of hung out in the back, but I think he's got something up his sleeve. And that is Michael Lanfear. Michael Lanfear, how are you doing out there at Auto Club?
Hey, buddy, how are y'all doing up there?
We are good, man.
Dude, if you really want me to be honest, my car cut off. I overshot my pit stall, so I had to restart it and back up. But I don't know, I just saved gas that stage and cut the engine off and clutched through the corners and got lucky.
Fantastic. Well,
Looks like it's been working.
I see you being patient right now, Michael. We're looking at your paint scheme. That's a beautiful look here. Harpoon Design, one of our painters, one of our sponsors for this series. AJ, you got something for Michael real quick?
Nah, dude, it looks like you have been very conservative and then late in a run. You just pass everybody like a bat out of hell. You gonna try that in stage 3?
I'll see what I can do. It's all fuel. This car is right on the edge as far as how we go 50% fuel. It's right on the edge for this race. So you just gotta kind of sit back and be patient and save some gas, and then you can kind of, so to speak, drop the hammer about, depending on how good you say, midway through the run.
All right, brother. Well, good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully we get to talk to you later on, pal.
All right, buddy. Thank y'all.
Well, you heard it. That's Michael Lanfear. Kind of overshot his stall there in the pits. He was making his way up there around that 9/8 position. Falls back a little bit, but I think he'll see his way up to maybe the top 10, top 5 if he can make it happen. But hey, we're going to go green again. Last end of this race as we are on our final stage as the pace car is off and we are back green at Auto Club Speedway Brandon Sixon at 66, going to take us into turn 1 on the inside. Excuse me, pops on the outside. AJ, a little bit different than the drivers we've seen early on.
He's leaving a hole for Drew Jua. And he's just going to rock it on that outside and get away.
So the question is going to be with these guys is, and that's, both, the top 4 and their contender, how hard are you going to push it? You've got to go all the way to lap.
Ooh, 66 is loose.
Ooh, a little bit loose.
And he's going to lose first.
A little bit
In
loose.
second.
Now he's going to fall back. Drew Jua in there. 04 lights. 66 now. And number 7, Mark Whitley. He's in 4th, trying to make a run.
Look who's
One thing we have.
him.
Absolutely. One thing we haven't talked about, and I hate to talk about it right now, no one's really made that big mistake. We saw it a couple races ago. We saw it last week. No major mistakes by these guys up front for the championship runners. They're all being pretty consistent, and pits have been pretty solid.
One thing that we haven't done tonight, we get one last chance to do it. That is bring the noise.
Let's go. Woo!
All right, we are back racing. That was Bring the Noise, brought to you by Harpoon Designs. 64 laps down now, and I think this will be a great time for us to pick our drivers to who we think will win. We've been doing it all season. We've waited till late in this race to do our picks, and I think it's time. I will go first, and then AJ, and we'll let Brandon Bowie go last. We're gonna do 2 picks though. We're gonna pick one driver for the championship, and then we will pick one driver for the contender. And my pick for the championship for 2023 season 4, I am gonna go with Nick Lights in that 04. He's been solid all season long. He won the trucks on Tuesday, and I think he'll do it again tonight. My second pick for the contenders, I'm gonna pick Song. in that 8 car.
Ooh,
Those are
good
my
pick.
2 picks. Yes, I'm
Good
feeling pretty
pick.
good about those. AJ, what are your picks going to be? What do you think?
Well, for the championship 4, I'm going to take Drew Jua. You know, he's been really strong all night, was very conservative in stage 2 when he needed to be. But for our contender guys, he was leading earlier. I'm going to go with the 32 at Nick Bitter. All right, Brandon, who you got?
All right. Oh man. For the final 4, I guess I will go with my brother from another mother. The 66 of Brandon 6. And I think for the contender, I gotta go with the 32 of Biddy. Biddy's been fast the last couple of weeks, man. You know, just he's there. Like, he just has to hold on to it, and he will have a chance. He's even led some laps. So I think he's got the speed. He has the ability to go up there and kind of get away from the rest of the contenders. I don't know if he could win the race, but the way it's going right now, it looks like he's continuing to move forward.
Yes, he is. And all those contenders, those championship drivers are all moving forward as well. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They are real close. 67 laps down. Frankie Barroso in that 12. He's right behind the mix. Fleming, Biddy, Mick Smith, Hassan. That's your top 10 as we are going later into this final countdown to the end of this race at Auto Club. Man, a lot of excitement, no cautions, a lot of movement, a lot of strategy as you're seeing Frankie give a little tap.
Well, Frankie
For
was
that
getting tapped a little
66.
bit coming out of 4. I don't think Frankie had a choice to then bump the 66. Fleming was all over the 12's back bumper.
And that goes
Yeah.
back to that draft that we were talking about earlier. You know, especially at nighttime, like I said earlier, you know, these guys are going now. It's full darkness, so these guys are going a lot faster. Not only burning fuel, but the draft is even stronger. So I think you're going to see a lot more pushing and shoving toward the end of this race. Hopefully they keep it clean. So far it's been really, really exciting to watch so far.
There's something to say about a nighttime race. I think for me personally, I think a nighttime race is far more, for me, a better feeling than daytime. That just might be me. I like the lights. I like the action. I like all that stuff. I don't know. Do you guys like a daytime race, like a morning race? What is your preference? But I think it looks really good tonight here at Auto Club.
Well, my preference was exactly what we did last week, and I thought was a great idea. Start in complete darkness and end in the morning daylight.
Yeah, very, very unique. And you bring that up. That's something that we've been doing all season. Steve has really put together some stuff that you just don't see in other leagues. We've got choose cars, we've got stages, we've got night to day, we've got day to night races. It's so cool to be a part of this. And I think the drivers, I think everyone at home, myself, everyone in the booth, love to be a part of that because it's just unique. And man, season 4 has been fantastic, and the end of this racing of this championship run has been fantastic as well as we're seeing it unfold. 70 laps down, going strong as they've got a tighter pack now. The one, Lanfear's in 16th position, but he's 7 seconds behind the leader. Not much time left as they're going single file now, Brandon. What is your strategy? Do you think you're going to be in the mix? I think it's too late. If you wait too long, I think it's going to be too late.
Well, I mean, anything can happen, and that's the hard part about races like this, when everything is on the line, right? For Lanfear back there, I mean, the strategy that they're kind of going for, I'm assuming, is to possibly save a little bit. Looks like he's, you know, when we talked to him, that's what he said the strategy was. So, but I think he's a little too far back. Again, the same thing that was going on with Frankie, trying to save. And I think if you get too far back, then it just takes you out of it.
It does more harm than good.
Exactly. So, you know, I think if they get a caution, then I think that'll help them. But I think that far back, I just don't think they can do anything from there.
I mean, Brandon, you said earlier, if we get a late caution, I think Whitley is the driver everybody should be afraid of. Because on these short runs in past races, and even on when he didn't have to worry about fuel here early on in today's race, he said bye-bye very fast.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's just, but Mark Whitley has had that speed all year long. Really, really quick on a short run. Not really the best toward the middle to end, but if the stage was short enough, then he could, he could win it for sure. But in a place like this where it's fuel management, cars are getting a little loose. It's really putting him, it's really testing his skills to see what he can really do. And so far, the first two stages kind of showed that maybe, he wasn't saving enough. But right now,
he's looking
these
P1
guys,
again.
Yeah, as he's going for it. I mean, all these guys got to pit again anyway. So at this point, it's almost like, well, why not?
Yeah, was he looking at Mark Whitley trying to get by lights, as he may here. One driver that I'm scared to talk about is that 66. He is so consistent. I feel like he's really being patient this evening. But I know I picked my number 4 driver, but man, 66 is one driver that you need to look out for, because he is a guy, he's a driver that if you're looking in your rear view mirror, you see that little smiley face. It's almost like a scary movie. Every time he's out here driving, you can just see it faintly. You might not know it if he doesn't have it, but if you can get a shot there,
we're gonna jump in Matthew Fleming's car to see if we can see it in the rearview mirror.
Let's take a look at that.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah. It's very unique. I think he's one of the only drivers that have a painted helmet that's like that. There you see it.
Oh, it's got the tongue out and everything.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, 77 laps down, man. This has been great action as they are side by side, almost 3 wide right there. Not to change too much out front, but look at this. We got Matt Fleming in the 88. He has jumped all the way up to 3rd position, starting 17th grid. So one of the bigger movers today, making his way through the field, are pretty strong out here with only 25 laps to go at this Auto Club race. This is the championship race. At the end of this race, we'll crown our champion. Man, a lot of action left, a lot of time left though too, as we're looking on board at 66 in the battle of the number 7, Mark Whitley.
Yeah, it's actually really, and this is why Auto Club is such a great track. You'll see these guys, they go all the way to the wall. And why is because the speed is... Oh, that was. It got really loose there. But if you notice, like, everybody goes toward the wall, and you go toward the wall because that's where the speed is. And again, that goes back to the drafting. If you can run up against the wall, you got a car behind you and a car in front of you, you're getting that drafting. You're not only being pushed, but you're also being pulled down the straightaway as well, which will also give you more speed. If a car ducks out of that line, he falls like a rock. And we literally saw that with Mark Whitley while we were riding with the 88 and the 66. As they got around him, it's because he was basically by himself. He had no help in front of him. He had no help behind him. I mean, thankfully he was able to kind of slide in line as the 32 now is pushing him down the straightaway, and you're going to see the same effect. And you see now we see Frankie going for it as well. So these guys are kind of not helping Mark Whitley right now. If they can, get single file, I think Frankie, the 32, and some of the guys back there, they might actually be able to get a run on the leader and actually might be able to take over the lead.
Matthew Fleming staying to that outside. Sorry, Emery, but holy cow, that 88 is getting some serious runs from that way outside lane.
Yeah, he's driving fantastic here at the end of this season 4, man. He says, you know what? I'm going to come out here. I'm going to steal a win. I'm going to beat Nick Lights. I'm going to beat Drua. I'm going to beat Six, and I'm going to beat Whitley. I'm going to get a win here at Auto Club, and he just might do it. 22 laps down, and that 88 car is looking really nice, the Flim Dogs. Cool to see him out here battling the top 5. I'd love to see him to get a win out here, but we'll see what happens. Now, Brandon, I was going to ask you, is there going to be any green flag stop pits at the end of this stage? Are we all the way? Are we done? Are we going all the way to green?
Well, we just saw Mark Whitley go down pit road, and you must have been reading my mind again because that's exactly where I was going to talk about. Yeah, the thing is if you pit by yourself, the problem is it's again similar to your super speedway. If you're in a pack like this, you're going faster compared to you are if you're running by yourself. So it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, you can go ahead and you can come down pit road and you can take fuel. I hope you got somebody around you that's going to help you. As
Here
you can see,
comes
the
Lights.
88 and the 4 and the 12 coming down pit road. They're all teammates. So
Ratchet
more than
Motorsports.
likely,
Field.
this was all planned.
Half of the field almost right now. Look at all the teamwork going on in the pits. They said now is the time. 20 laps to go. They are going to do a green flag pit stop.
And
As
that
we're
should
looking
be it
at
for
a
the
couple of
race.
these drivers staying out. Drew, I believe, stayed out. Six and
Yep.
Light stayed out. Frankie, Biddy. Actually, they're pitted. Excuse me. Drew and Six, the two drivers, staying out.
Yeah, so they're on a whole different strategy, and now they're trying to figure out what they want to do. Now they do have Nick Lights.
Here they
I'm
come.
sorry. As they're coming down pit road now.
Yeah.
They actually no. I'm sorry. The 66 will stay out and continue to do another
That could
lap.
hurt both of them.
Now you were talking, Brandon. Is he's kind of on an island now? When he goes to pit, is he going to time it and try to get some help from behind because there's no one in front of him?
Well, I mean, technically, he does have a car in front of him. It's kind of far out there, so he can actually get pulled. She's getting a little bit of draft, not much, but just a little bit to kind of probably keep the speed up. But when he pits, he's gonna have to be super aggressive getting on pit road. He has to be able to maximize entry, maximize being on pit road, and maximize his exits. We see him coming down pit road here now.
Take a
Long
look
as
on
he-
board. Brandon Six coming in the pits.
And that looks solid. So if he can, it looks like was that Roberts' song that's gonna overtake the lead? Maybe not. Maybe I was just looking at another car, but-
Negatory.
Okay, so yeah, so right now we have looks like currently provisional will be Mark Whitley. He unfortunately is by himself. So only thing he can do is hot lap. He's gonna have to hot lap for 18 laps. He's gonna have to try and hold these guys off. Can it be done? Yes. Is it gonna be easy? No.
Well, time will tell on that as Mark Whitley is on an island trying to go as fast as he can to stay in front of everybody so that his tires don't wear it. He can stay out front, but now you're looking right there. 66 is back on the track. Can he get behind Mark Whitley? I don't think he has enough speed to get that, but he is there in the mix now, back out there with fresh tires.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I think he timed that perfect, Brandon. Look
Yeah.
who's behind him.
yeah, I was gonna say, 'cause technically he has, because Drew was technically in front of him. So either Drew did not have a very good pit stop, or I don't know. Actually, it could be a multitude of things. What's gonna be interesting is, I believe I have to see, but I think Six has 5+ laps, fresher tires. I can double
4.
check and let you know. 4. Okay,
4
so
fresher laps.
the 4 fresher laps probably equates to maybe about a second a lap faster for a couple laps. But then, eventually they'll start to kind of even out. So it's gonna be very, very important for Drew to catch Six, for Six to catch Whitley. So
Well,
it's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
yeah, all those calculations are starting to hurt my head, but I'll tell you what, all those championship drivers are out front again with only 16 to go. Mark Whitley, Six, Jewett, and Lights are in the
Well-
mix. Some on older tires, some on newer. Frankie's in that 5th position, not in contention, but still out here battling. The 88 as well, Fleming. He's in 6th position. Hassong, he's the #1 contender right there. He's in 7th in the number 8. 16 to go.
Yeah, we're really getting down to it. But just to what Brandon Bowie was just saying, those last 5 laps coming out of pit road since Brandon Six has come out, Whitley has been faster, and I think now the tires are starting to show because these last 2 laps, Six has taken about a tenth off.
It's all the game. It's all the tire game, Brandon. You know it. We knew this was going to come down to it as we're looking at Six gain quite a bit on Mark Whitley, and then we've still got 15 laps. That is not enough time for him to hold him off. I would be surprised if he can, but don't put it past him. Mark Whitley knows what he's doing out here. I knew Brandon Six in that 66 would be a driver out here what was going to be on his tail. Drew Lights there. Lights has kind of fallen off the pace. He's about 5 seconds behind the leader. He's dropping a little bit more. 14 to go. Frankie, Fleming, and Song, Real, and Smith, Biddy. That's your top 10. Brandon, where do you want to be now? I mean, Mark Whitley, he's up front, obviously, but Six, he's gaining some time.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't want to be in this position, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just because, I mean, as I'm looking at the times now, I mean, Six is maybe picked up about a tenth and a half on him, so he's down to 1.2 on Mark Whitley. So he definitely is catching him. You know, if I'm Mark Whitley, there's got to be a point to where it's like I'm pushing it, but not really pushing it, because you want to make sure that you don't overheat the tires. You want to make sure that you have tires to be able to defend, or you want to have tires to be able to just hold off the 66. If you don't, and you're slipping and sliding, there's just no way you're going to be able to hold him off. If you're the 66, then again, you're almost doing the same thing. You're trying to push, you're not trying to push too hard because you don't want to burn up the tires before you get there, because everybody knows you can get there, but you got to be able to pass them as well. And if you can't do that, then you're kind of just going to ride behind them the whole time. So, you know, like I said, the 66 is catching him, but he's not catching him very fast. So.
Absolutely. Man, Fleming, Hasong, and Real, his 6, 7, 8 battle has been fun to watch. These guys are really battling, trying to get up front. Hasong has everything to lose as he needs to stay up front of Biddy, Corriveau, and David. They are in the contender as well. But there's Kenny Real as we're looking on board. And then here's the pack here. There's Meeks, Corriveau, and Fetter Place. And Fear there in that 13 car as well. In the back of the pack, but there's still battle. 11 laps to go. And we will crown the winner here on this championship of Season 4 at Auto Club.
And the only thing, if you're Mark Whitley, you're praying there's no caution. If you're Brandon Six, you might be hoping for a caution, so that way you can be bunched back up and go. But man, and then if you're Jua and Lights, you're definitely hoping for a caution. So it just depends on where you are on the track right now. Unfortunately, it does not look like Jua and Lights picked the correct strategy. Whitley and Six are way out there in front of them. They would have to get a caution in order to catch back up and then try to go for it.
Yeah, the short run or the long run. It looks like the long run is working out for Whitley, as now we have gone to 10 laps, now 9 laps to go. Whitley out front almost a second ahead of Brandon Six in that 66. Jua and Lights have fell off a little bit. Looks like their tires have as well. But man, if it plays out this way, Mark Whitley in that 7 will be your champion of Season 4. But man, we got a lot of time left. Six right there is now only a half a second behind, a little more than a half a second, as we know he can catch Mark Whitley in that 7.
Brandon Six has been faster, about 0.2 a lap, and he is closing in right on Mark Whitley. Should be getting that draft from him very shortly, if not already.
I knew that was going to happen, Brandon. I told you, that smiley face helmet, it's scary. When you got that in your rear view, you do not want to see that as Mark Whitley is looking at it as we're on board with Brandon Six, looking at the tail end of Mark Whitley in that 7.
Well, keep in mind as well, like I said, once
Whitley breaking the draft.
there, yeah, as you see Mark Whitley, he's trying to break the draft, but as 6 gets closer, it's going to get harder and harder to be able to get around the 7 of Mark Whitley. So like I said, you got to kind of play out the strategy correct. You can't afford to get loose off the corner. Like we just saw 6 get a tiny bit loose there. Now, is he going to pick up any time here? He was 0.5. Still 0.5, but it's closer. So, again, as you get closer, you're going to start to get a little bit tight. You're going to start to get that air off that car, so it's going to be harder and harder to pass. So you're going to have to start moving around and try to figure out how to get around him. Or, if you're...
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Sorry. if you're Mark, you're trying to do everything possible to break the draft so he can't catch you.
Yeah, just I was going to say, as he's breaking the draft there, but Mark Whitley with such fresh air out front. I mean, it's so easy to kind of burn him up. The track temp is low. You can drive the car as hard as you want, but man, as now we're looking at it, Brandon Six has gained less than a half a second behind Mark Whitley. Drew and Lights are even gaining a little bit, but I think they're running out of time. 6 laps to go, and Brandon Six is tracking down Mark Whitley. Can he do it late in this race at the Auto Club? This is for the championship of Season 4. The winner of these two will be crowned the winner of this race. Here we go.
And the championship, the champion.
Ooh.
Out of these two guys, it's not just the winner, it's the championship winner.
Absolutely.
And we saw the 66 completely throw it in into that corner. Made up quite a bit. It's going to go from 0.4 to 0.2 in one corner. So this is starting to heat up, boys.
Man,
Ooh,
5 to go.
just about
Mark
a tenth
Whitley
and a
is
half.
running out of time, and his tires are getting hot. I know he's in panic mode right now, trying to keep 6 behind him. I don't know if it can happen as he's trying to break the draft. He goes low, back outside, stays in front. Man, what a race.
Oh, 66 threw it in there again.
Has to be careful that he doesn't get too tight behind him, but Mark Whitley is definitely on the loose side. Saw tail end wiggle a little bit coming off the corner there.
Now, does he make a run on the inside of Whitley again? Does he have enough pace? And he's going to stay behind as he makes the run on the inside of Mark. Can he get him here? 4 laps to go.
And they're side by side, coming out of 2.
Side by side, coming out of 2. Not quite yet, as he might get him right on this 3 and 4 turn. As he does, he passes Mark Whitley. Brandon Six in your 66 is now your leader.
Not over yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I wouldn't call this out yet, because Mark Whitley could basically do the same thing. He can use that draft and get a huge run on the 66 if he has the speed and tires to do it.
I think we're going to see Brandon Six just pull away now. He's been the
Home and be your champion of Season 4.
This is still anybody's race right now. It's not over yet. I've seen some crazy stuff, so I'm not calling it yet.
They are battling back and forth as Mark now is going to go on the inside of Brandon Six, and he does take it away from him. 2 laps to go, and can he get slingshot? Oh my Lantis!
slide job.
6 now back on the inside. We are going back and forth. These guys are battling it out for the championship. You love to see it. End of Season 4. Can they get the win here? Side by side. As they touch, make some contact. Keep it clean, boys. Mark Whitley, Brandon Six, side by side as they're going to cross to go to the white flag at Auto Club. What a race. And no one's given up just yet. 7 on the outside, 6 on the inside.
Oh,
And 6 is going to get loose. Mark Whitley is going to go away from him. Unbelievable. 6 makes a mistake. Final lap here at Auto Club. If it stays true, Mark Whitley in your number 7 car will be the champion of Season 4. Great racing. Fantastic. Unbelievable season by him. And I think he will do it. Checkered flags out. Congratulations to Mark Whitley on your
Holy
champion.
cow.
Unbelievable.
Side by side into turn number 1 on the final lap. Oh! Oh, God. Wow. I get the frustration
and
there.
The fireworks are going off. I'm not sure about the fireworks there at the end, but man, regardless of how that race ended, that was a great race by Mark Whitley and 6. Drew Jua is in 3rd. Nick Lights is in 4th. And Frankie, the number 12, that is your top 5. Congratulations also to Robert Hassong and the number 8. He is your contender winner. Unbelievable.
Wow. Wow. What a finish.
Brandon, I'm kind of speechless at the end there, but what are your thoughts here? You were taking a look at it again on a replay as it looked just like a racing incident. What are your thoughts?
I mean, these guys have been racing each other hard from I think from the first race they raced each other. So, you know, it's just something that they do against each other. It reminds me of some of the guys that race in real life. You know, they beat and bang off each other. That's just what they do. You know, and neither one of them wants to let each other win. You know, that's just part of it. That's just the rivalry that they have. So, you know, so congratulations, you know, to Mark Whitley getting it done. I said if it was a short run, it was going to be hard to beat him. You know, so, you know, and he showed that he was able to use his strategy and get it done.
Wow. Yeah, big testament for him. Congratulations to Mark Whitley, your season 4 champion. He did everything right. Man, just it was big time racing at the end there. As we're taking a look there, 66 came and gave him a big love tap. But man, we're gonna do some interviews here shortly. We're gonna bring in our top 3 of the championship, and then I believe we're gonna bring in our top 3 of the contenders. AJ,
No,
who are we bringing
just the winner
in
of
first
our
here?
contenders. But let's talk to the winner of the season 4 championship, Mark Whitley. Emery, take it away, pal.
Mark Whitley, I don't even know how to explain those last 2 laps. You held off Brandon 6. You had a little bit of contact, looked like a racing incident, and you came away with the win. What are your thoughts, Mark? How you feeling, buddy? Congratulations.
Oh, I felt a lot better than I did Tuesday. That's for sure.
Well, yeah.
Ooh, I'm pumped.
Yeah, you kind of sound speechless, man. You came out here, you did it. You kind of snuck by 3 weeks ago. You just barely got in, but hey, you did everything it took to get to this point, and now you're the winner. So I can't say it enough. Congratulations to you, AJ. Brandon, you got anything for Mr. Mark?
Dude, you ran a fantastic final stage. Even when you got passed by Brandon 6, you threw it back in there and made a awesome pass, a slight, you know, cool little slide job move. And that ended up being what put you back into the championship hunt late in this race. What kind of setup did you have for that move? Because it looked like you just put the hammer down and went.
Well, the whole season, this season in the cups and a little bit earlier, I mean, he decided he wanted to keep roughing me up. So I knew once he got by me, I wasn't even a question. I was going to, if I got back to him, I was going to try to use him up a little bit because he's got more than one coming from me, and I didn't want to wreck him because I didn't want to stoop to his level, what he did in truck race at Homestead. So I just wanted to rough him up a little bit, race him hard. Got a hell of a run off 4, got a run down the front straightaway and just kind of threw it in there, trying to get up alongside of him. I think he tried to back off to try to let me slide up, and I just kind of stabbed the brakes and kind of parked it right in the middle of the lane where he was trying to go. So he just bumped me a little bit, and then we were side by side rubbing fenders, and nothing too crazy. I mean, 2 people going for the championship last lap. I mean, you're going to do whatever you can, you know. So hats off to him, not just dumping my ass, which I halfway expected, but you know, he's a hell of a driver. He's really fast. Just sometimes, I don't know, me and him just didn't get along, but that was a hell of a last lap. And then we went down into 1 and we kept rubbing. And all of a sudden I saw him in the mirror, just like get sideways. I think he just got loose down there. and just Brantley was screaming in my ear, take it easy. He's done fell off. So I went real easy in 3 and 4, make sure I didn't completely shoot myself in the foot one last time this season. And man, I'm out of breath because that was the most intense last 20 laps or whatever it was I've had in a long time. And I told Brantley at the end of the second stage, we were, I knew we'd be close on gas, but the stages didn't really matter. So, and with as few cars that we had here, I was just making sure we got to the stage, didn't run out. So we short pitted on every time. And I was looking at lap times, and I knew there wasn't a whole lot of fall off. And I knew I'd rather take my chances on 2 because I knew the lap times weren't falling off, and I could gain 3 or 4 seconds of pit road just not taking those left sides. So I called an audible there toward the middle of the race and just said, hey, let's just take 2. And, wound up being the great call. And I think Brandon, he had the same idea. He just went long, and he came out with a couple laps fresher that he was able to run us down just slowly. And it was a hell of a race. Like I said, give him credit. He we were rubbing fenders, nothing too crazy. Just hard racing, going for a championship, going for a win. So feels great, especially after the disappointment on Tuesday. This makes up for it tenfold. So 7th league championship I've had throughout iRacing, and number 7 car. So I guess that makes pretty good chance for it.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations again. Before you take off, I've got Steve in the booth. He wants to ask you a few questions and say congratulations to you as well.
No,
Steve.
man. Just Mark, that was pretty killer. I don't have anything else to say other than what these guys have already said. But that last lap was crazy, or those last 2 laps definitely. Listen, we've seen it before in the real thing. We've seen it before, even in leagues. Green flag racing the entire race. 6 is catching you, and you're right there. I think you said it best. You're gonna do what it takes to win, and it's hard racing. It's close racing. And you kind of mentioned it, right? The history, through multiple series. Totally get that, but man, at the end of the day, look at this replay right here as we're watching it live, or the replay side by side at the white flag, and then, right now coming down into turn 1, still side by side. The way I'm seeing this from the booth, you guys just collide right there. Brandon comes up a little bit. You're trying to hold that line. It's tough. 6 gets loose right there. It's definitely not. It's just close racing, man. At the end of the day, close racing for a championship last lap. You can't really blame either one of you. It could have gone either way. So, congrats again for season 4 championship, man. Love to see it. Great season, and congrats.
Yeah, that last lap there, I went into 1. I didn't want to give him. I wanted to give him, I gave him the bottom. But I just didn't want to give him extra room. So I held it kind of low, just trying to make sure he had held it down, try to pinch him a little bit. But I think he just got tight. We were both on 2, I believe, and I think he just got tight, got in my door, and it upset his car, and did a hell of a job saving it. Because I've done that before, and these things are so hard to save. So a nice job on him keeping it going straight. Because I know I was looking at the relative last couple laps. That 3rd place guy, he was coming like a bat out of hell. So I was really hoping we weren't going to wreck each other and let him win the race. That was my real big fear.
Well, you held him off. You did what you could to get this win, and man, fantastic job. Congratulations to being a champion, season 4 champion here at the Cup Series, and have a good night. Celebrate that. Tell your friends and family, and we appreciate you being here.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, you take care. Well, we are going to bring in our 2nd place finisher, number 66. Brandon 6, as we try to grab him and have a word with him and get a perspective on his end.
Currently don't see him.
As he may not come in and have a word, but regardless, congratulations on him for a fantastic season run. He was in the mix. I knew he was a guy at the end that was a driver to look out for. He was right there. He did everything that he could to try to make it happen. But Mark held him off.
Definitely grab.
We're gonna go
Drew
to Drew in that 48 in that number 3 spot.
There
Drew,
he is.
you got a copy. This is Emery in the booth.
I do.
Well, Drew, you were strong. You were very strong here the last couple races. You got a couple wins to get you in this final position for the championship run. You were falling off the pace just a little bit here, but you saw those guys battling in front of you. What were your thoughts, and how did you feel about this car here at Auto Club?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun-ish race. I mean, you really had to fuel save the first two runs. There was little to no battling, and I didn't really know how my car was going to handle this third run because we were going hot, we were clutching in the corners like half throttle down the straightaway. So I mean, it was completely different than the first three stations. And that's something I really didn't like. We fuel saved those first two times, and then we got to the third run, and the car felt fine. I was a little loose, and I debated going two tires, and ultimately went with four, and that was the wrong call. I had a good pit entry and all, but lost enough time to where I wasn't going to catch back up with them with this tire model being as bad as it is. I mean, we fell off 6/10 in like 25 laps. I mean, it's nothing that this race could have, like anything could have been different, but it's like it's ridiculous that the tire fall off is that little. I said over the radio that, I mean, NASCAR heat, it's about the same thing as that. So nothing that this league or anything could have done differently. It's just how the tire model is, and made the wrong call and started finally getting back to them at the end there. But by the time I had no time to get there, and I saw Mark completely dive bomb it in and try to slide job six, and I don't know if six lifted or not. But they both could have easily wrecked there, but they didn't. And then how I see it from a non-teammate side, but I see Mark, not giving enough room, especially after he's just given like three different times to six and making contact down the straightaway. I think it's kind of ridiculous. I understand you're racing for a championship, but like you move somebody and dive bomb and almost wreck yourself, and you almost, I mean, he just kind of came down on him and gave six little to no room, and six ended up saving it. Good thing he did, but this is an enjoyable race until the end. With the tires not burning at all. The way he had to win that championship, it doesn't sit right with me. I'll take a third place at the end of the day. I mean, but
Well, yeah, and then I just wanted to say congratulations on that third place. I mean, you were strong all season as well. I thought you might come out here, and I thought you would come out here and get a win. The cars didn't go your way. Mark Whitley, Brandon Six, they were battling out front there. It was quite the show. A lot of controversy through teammates and other drivers so far. I think the broadcast, I think the race will kind of tell itself and kind of play out the way it will. But nevertheless, man, congratulations to you on the third place and not the championship, but third place overall for the season 4.
yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun to race. We didn't have the best midway. We won Daytona and really locked ourselves in. Didn't have to worry about it, and kind of coasted through the regular season. Kind of struggled near the end, but it was a lot of fun. Might be back next year. Depends on a bunch of things, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I want to say, good championship to Mark, but I mean, he won the championship and that's it. But like sometimes it's unfortunate with the way you have to win them.
Well, regardless of how it played out, we want to see you back next season. Season 5, I think, is going to be something special. We've got a lot of things in motion, and we always love to see Bowie Esport drivers in this league, in the series. So I'd love to see you back. If that doesn't happen, thank you for all the time you put in, but I hope that's not the case. But congratulations either way on third. It was fun to watch you all season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. There is Drew in the 48. He finished third. One of the contenders out here to get the championship. Just did not happen, but man, he was right there to get there. I don't know if Brandon's with us right now. Brandon 6. He's in the booth. Brandon, are you still with me?
Well,
Yeah,
we got Bowie here,
I'm
not
here.
6.
Oh, sorry, Brandon Bowie. I apologize. We've been talking about 6 and Whitley, and I've spaced it. Brandon Bowie.
Yeah.
Man, there's some heated. I think there's a little bit of heated stuff going on in the pits. You can tell from the drivers. perspective, Brandon Six didn't even come in to do an interview, and we're looking at replays and we're looking at the racing and stuff. I'm kind
Well,
of speechless. I'm not
let's
exactly
talk
sure.
to our contender championship
Not exactly
winner.
sure how that plays out. I guess we'll talk about that later. But we're going to talk to the contenders.
Yeah,
We got the
championship contender winner, Robert
championship
Hissong.
contender winner, Robert, or Rob. Either way, his song. You were my pick to win the contender tonight, and you did it, Rob. I know you weren't getting that championship, but you came out and got first on the contender. Congratulations to you. You started 10th, and you finished right there ahead of everybody else in 7th. How are you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. I knew coming into the race that as far as the first 2 stages go, it was going to be, field conservation. So as long as I stayed in contention and could make it to the end of each stage, I knew the 3rd stage was going to be the time to make the final attack, really, so to speak. Right there before that last pit stop, I told myself the only way I'm getting ahead of Biddy at this point in time is to pit before him and get on pit road and off pit road as hard as I possibly can. It was either win the contender playoff title or bring home the steering wheel at that point. So I did what I had to do.
Yes, sir. It paid off for you, and you did get that contender win there. Congratulations on first place. AJ, you got something real quick for Mr. Hissong?
No, you were battling well within that top 10 all night, and even within that top 5 with gapping some championship drivers behind you. How did that 8 car feel? I know you had a battle inside of a battle, but it looked like you were in beautifully control of that 8 car tonight.
Yeah, Auto Club really has been one of my better tracks. It's a shame that NASCAR is changing it to a short track because obviously I'm from Michigan and it's very, very close to Michigan as far as layout wise, but it's something about long runs and making sure you have enough tire under yourself. Not that tires really mattered tonight, to do something at the end of the run. Really, it was stay out of trouble, keep my nose clean, and be there at the end to capitalize. I wish we wouldn't have had the fuel issue in the first 2 stages because I think I could have finished top 5 or at least finished close to top 5, a little closer than I did. But it was definitely a fun race.
Gonna get ready to lock and load for season number 5 in just about 2.5 months.
I haven't decided yet.
Well, you heard it there, AJ. He's undecided, but Rob, we'd love you to have you back for season 5. You've done what it takes to get that contender win this season, and man, season 5 I think is going to be great. Either way, man, congratulations on the season finale, season 4, and your finish for the contender at first place.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care,
See
buddy.
you later, my friend.
All right, AJ, we've got another driver going to bring in, I believe.
We do?
That's going to be Mike. Corey Vo.
Not in the Discord.
Not in the Discord. Mike is not going to come in and have a word with us, but he is your second place for the contenders. Congratulations to Mike. Corey Vo.
I also do not see Biddy either.
Right. Well, we were going to have a word with some of these drivers, but, we're trying to get everybody. It takes a little bit of time. This has been quite the day, quite the race, and, man, quite the finish to season 4 as Mark Whitley in that number 7 car got the win over Brandon Six. It was a battle, 2 laps to go, side-by-side action, and you can't ask for a better finish than what we just saw there. It's unfortunate that Brandon Six had some problems there and got loose, got in contact with Mark Whitley. Seems like there's a lot of conversations going on, but it will settle itself either way. Brandon, AJ, what are your thoughts on season 4? It has been fantastic. I love to be a part of this, and the racing and the playoffs have been crazy.
I mean, season 4 has its ups and downs, man. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but I tell you what, probably right before I can't remember the exact race it was, but you know, for the past 5-6 races, I mean, these races have been absolutely amazing. These drivers have put on a hell of a show. You know, with some new winners, some repeat winners, some people running really, really good. Nick Biddy comes to mind, how good he was running the last couple of races toward the end of the season. So, maybe seems like he's starting to kind of figure out his stride, trying to figure out what he needs to do to be competitive. And then there's also, like I said, been some letdowns. I think a lot of people had Frankie Barroso making the playoffs, and he did. Made a mistake at Phoenix and hit the barrels entering pit road and cost himself a chance at being in the playoffs. So, like I said, a lot of ups and downs. I think that all the drivers, I guess, participated or that are still here, will take some of the things that they learned from throughout the season and try to apply that for next season coming up for season 5. So, I think overall it was a good race, or a good season. Like I said, lots of trials and tribulations that we had to go through, but hey, sunny days at the end of the season, and sounds like season 5 is going to be even better.
You're absolutely right. And man, I just want to thank everyone involved in this. AJ, thank you for everything you've done all season. It sucks that you will be gone. Next season you won't be with us, but it was fun to have you in the booth tonight to kind of do a send-off, and you've been fantastic all season long. Brandon, working with you alongside you has been fun in the booth. I've learned a lot. I think we all have learned a lot. This whole season has been a wild ride. But Wheels America Cup Series Championship Race presented by the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast has provided. And Mark Whitley was your champion for season 4. Everyone at home, Wheels America Racing Network, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for every week saying hi and doing what you do. Sponsors: Units Moving Portable Storage, Wheels America Admin Box, Flim Dogs, the new Nerds Doing the Nerd Things podcast, and Harpoon Designs. Thank you for doing season 4 well. And myself, Jacob Emery, we are going to sign off for this season 4, and we will see you in season 5. Good night.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join Nerds Doing Nerd Things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.